হ্যাঁ,
হ্যাঁ, এই এই
আমি
এই
এর
এই সপ্তাহে
চ্যাটের
টেস্ট গুলো কমপ্লিট করে দিতে হবে।
হ্যাঁ করে দেবো স্যার, আপনি যেরকম ইয়ে করুন। আজকে তো আমি একদমই
না না, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক
টাইট
আছে।
হয়ে গেছি। হ্যাঁ,
তাহলে
ওদের যে
রবিবার দিন করলে কাল পরশু হবে না? না,
হ্যাঁ,
রবিবারও
কাল
হবে?
পরশু না, কালকে তো অফিসে ফিরে সন্ধ্যাবেলা আমি করতে পারবো। ওদের পরশু
আচ্ছা,
বলে দিন।
পরশু তো আপনি পিকনিকে যাবেন,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
তাহলে কালকেই দেখেন রাতে যদি হয়।
দেখুন
ঠিক।
আমি কোশ্চেনটা দিতে এটা করতে পারছি না স্যার, লাইভ হলো। এবার লিঙ্কটা কোথায় পাবো? সেটিংস, ইউটিউব, কপি, গট ইট, কোথায় গেল?
হ্যাঁ
স্যার আপনি অ্যাকসেপ্ট করিয়ে দিন সবাইকে, আমি চ্যাট
হ্যাঁ
বক্সে ইউটিউবের লিঙ্কটাও দিয়ে দিলাম।
হ্যাঁ, আমি করে যাচ্ছি।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওকে স্যার, আই এম ডান।
হ্যাঁ
ওকে।
স্যার, পেয়ে গেছি।
ওকে ওকে,
আমি একবার তাও শেয়ার করে দিই। দাঁড়ান,
হ্যাঁ।
সব শেয়ারিং।
গরম ঘিমে যাচ্ছে তো। হ্যাঁ, একটু দিন না দাদা।
হয়ে গেছে। এবার স্যার তাহলে শুরু করছি।
হ্যাঁ, হচ্ছে আমি একটু 2 মিনিট বলে নেই।
হ্যাঁ
I think most of the students, I expected uh, that most of the students would be joining. So anyway, they are joining now. I'm telling the students one message to them. This is the last class of these 5 modules. This is the 5th module of the last class, you know. So last class is being taken by Professor Dr. Indranil Mutsuddi, HOD of Management Studies. So he will be taking the last class. The main key points of this class, you know, what is the holistic development in technology and development management, you know. So what the ethical purpose and the hello and the Shivli, you mute yourself, babe. Who is Shivli? So Shivli, no, what's his name? Shruti Dewanji. Okay. So I'm telling you, Professor Dr. Sudhi will be taking the class, the interesting class, how the engineer and the management personality will be developed. They will maintain the ethic, and at the same time, the holistic engineers and holistic management personality will be developed. So he will be speaking on that, and that will be the last class is being taken. And another announcement is I think the third, only 2 tests are remaining. One is third module test. So that will be taken not today. That may be taken tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Anyway, in this week, that module will be, that test will be taken. Already Mutsud sir will be taking another test. Either Mutsud sir or the Majid sir, they'll be taking on that day, you know. So the class is being finished today, and the remaining test will be 2 tests will be finished by this week. Then the UHB classes will be over at this year, the first semester. Okay. So thank you so much. Now I request Dr. Mutsuddi to start his class. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for your nice introduction. And good evening, students. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the last session of Universal Human Values. I hope you have got enough inputs and knowledge regarding how you can make yourself more acceptable as a sensitive human being, as a human being who thinks holistically, not only about yourself but also about your surroundings, your environment, and the people, and even the animals who surround you in the environment. So the topic for today's discussion would be mainly to understand the implications of holistic understanding of harmony and professional ethics. So in this module, we are going to talk about something about holistic technologies and how these holistic technologies, they bring about different kind of management models, and how these management models create some innovative production systems to ensure that there is a holistic engaging environment in organizations. So when you will join any organization,
এটা
how
তোমাদের বাবা
that kind of a holistic environment.
তোমাদের নয়, তাহলে লিভ করে যাও, বেকার শুনে কি করব?
Students, please keep yourself mute. If you are not muted, the session would not be fruitful. Please keep yourself mute. Okay. So in this discussion, we would not only talk about the theoretical aspects, but we would try to discuss some of the holistic technologies, management models, and production systems which are used by reputed organizations from the corporate world. And those success stories would give you some kind of a practical or a practical understanding how holistic technologies, how these management models, how these innovative production systems, they create a holistic ecosystem in organizations. And from these discussions, you would be able to understand that what would be your future role as budding managers or budding professionals to ensure that this kind of a holistic engagement is created in organizations of tomorrow. So in this discussion, our perspective would be to develop a strategic understanding that how we can develop our thinking or our understanding from the present state of being just a student to a more or less human, universal human order that would help you to step into the shoes of a successful corporate leader. So in this perspective, after going through this discussion, you will be able to identify that what is your responsibility, what is your understanding as a socially and ecologically responsible manager or engineer. That means being a manager or engineer, your job would not only be to be purely technology oriented, purely managerial oriented, but you have to be socially responsible, you have to be ecologically responsible, you have to be sensitive about the people and the natural environment that is around you, and that would create a holistic and engaging environment in the corporate world. Now let me tell you why this is very, very important. Please understand that today you would be joining these organizations as trainees. Tomorrow you would be promoted as assistant managers or assistant engineers. And again, after some point of time, you would come into the position of managers or senior engineers. And again, after some point of time, you would hold the positions of leaders. So if you do not have that kind of a holistic understanding that how you can be more socially responsible, how you can be more ecologically sensitive, then you would not be able to create that kind of an organization which would be socially engaging, which would be ecologically more responsible in terms of bringing about a effective and conducive society for the tomorrow's world. So at this level, we all must acknowledge and understand that at the societal level, we all have to create some organizations or some institutions which are responsible to the changes, which are responsible to the environment, which are responsible to protect the ecology, and which would also value the human values which are most important for a very good and developed society. I think these issues had already been discussed by the previous resource person. In this course, you must have understood that how you can become that kind of a human being and individual that would actually lead organizations of tomorrow. Now, moving around, if we look at the role of the holistic technologies, production system and management model, your job as managers of tomorrow, your job as engineers at the helm of big organizations would be to create and develop a holistic system. And how you can develop that holistic system? By developing an understanding, by developing the knowledge that how this kind of a hand-holding between technology, between ecology, between environment, and how you can preserve the basic objective of providing benevolent activities for the human being and the society at large. So whatever technology you would be developing as technocrats or even as a manager of a reputed organization, you focus would be to create a technology which is renewable. That means you can reuse, recycle, and you can renew the utilized resources so that there is less pressure on the existing natural resources which are around you. Please understand, our world is limited with the existence of natural resources. Suppose we want to have a manufacturing plant where we use raw materials from the trees.
Sir, will you change the slide? Will you change the slide? I think.
No, I am discussing the same slide actually.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm discussing the same slide. So you have to develop a sustainable and renewable technology or a business model through which we can ensure that we do not create pressure on the existing resources which are present around us. So if we repeatedly use our resources like coal, water, trees, then at one point of time, the earth would become absolutely like a desert. So you have to create a technology, you have to create a holistic system through which you can renew, recycle, reuse, and preserve these extremely valuable natural resources. So that is very, very important. And that is where your thinking process has to come into very important use. Now, if I'm talking about the resources, please understand the best utilization of resources. In management, we talk about the process or the thinking through which we can make the best and the optimum utilization of resources for getting the maximum output or getting the maximum productivity. So, keeping this in mind, as a manager or as a engineer or as a technocrat, you have to focus on how best you can make the utilization of the local resources and how you can make best utilization of the people who are locally available. Now, suppose you are working for a multinational company. A multinational company would be working at different countries and different locations across the globe. Now, please understand that as a multinational, you don't have a luxury to transfer the skills from one country to another because of high cost implications for your organization. So in such situations, you have to make the best utilization of the expertise which are locally available. So that is where your HR process, your managerial process would come into the picture. And for that, you have to create a conducive HR practice in your organization, a helpful HR activity in your organization, through which you would be able to create that kind of a decentralized system which would help you to take the advantage of local resources and expertise. Now, please understand, when we join an organization, as a manager, sometimes we create goals which are unrealistic, which are not based on real needs. So this is where you as future managers need to create goals which are based on real needs of the society, the problems of the society, or the issues faced by the people like you and me in the society. So when we focus on these realistic needs, we can then ensure that whatever production, distribution, and consumption patterns we are having as an organization, that would actually have some kind of a linkage, some kind of a tangible, integration with those realistic needs of the society. That would be very, very important. Okay, so now we move on to the next slide. So in this regard, you as technocrats or you as future managers of modern organizations, you have to develop such technologies and systems where you would be creating certain human inventions or innovations which would be visualized under the influence of the prevailing worldview. So you have to look at your environment. You have to look at the needs of the people. You have to look at the global needs. You have to look at the societal needs. And based on this analysis, you have to develop those sustainable technologies which would fulfill the needs of the society, which would fulfill the problems which are faced by the people in the society. So in this regard, when you develop such technologies, sustainable technologies or advanced technologies, you have to fulfill the needs of appropriate needs of lifestyle. You have to create technologies which are people friendly, okay, and you have to also ensure that whatever technologies you are developing, those are eco-friendly in nature. That means they would not do any kind of harm to the society, or they would not do any harm to the ecology or the environment in which you are living. So let us try to see a video case, and this would make you understand how organizations can keep focusing on this kind of sustainable technologies. So let me share the screen with you. So first we are going to talk about the Coca-Cola's vision about a sustainable business environment.
At the Coca-Cola Company, our purpose to
Students, is the audio clear to you?
refresh the world and make a difference guides our business. In 2021, we worked with great dedication to position ourselves for
Yes, sir.
Okay.
and our environmental, social, and governance initiatives continue to be embedded in our business and our work. These initiatives are interconnected. Our efforts to combat climate change, for example, are closely tied to sustainable packaging, increasing water security, and sustainable agriculture. We're focused on areas where we can have a measurable, positive impact on the communities we serve around the world. This includes investments in economic empowerment, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and community giving. And we're seeing meaningful progress. For example, since 2010, our global water, sanitation, and hygiene programs have reached 18.5 million people. We were proud to achieve our 2020 climate goal, and we're accelerating our efforts through our 2030 science-based target. We've also added a new industry-leading refillable packaging goal. As a total beverage company, we're continuing to provide consumers with a wide range of choices, including drinks with less added sugar. In 2021, we rolled out a new and improved formulation of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, which has driven growth in 80% of the markets where it was launched. Our combined 2021 Business and Environmental, Social, and Governance report is a reflection of how ESG is embedded in our strategy, and we're proud to share our progress.
So you must have understood that what kind of ESG goals, environmental, social, and corporate governance goals an organization like Coca-Cola is having. So let us try to further understand, what other strategies Coca-Cola is having to accentuate this kind of a initiative.
Water is essential to life, to health. It's our most precious ingredient. But safe, clean water is limited. That's why we treat it with the utmost care. Over the past 10 years, we've worked hard to use water more responsibly, clean our wastewater, ensure we protect local water sources, be better balanced by replenishing more water than we use, improve people's lives with access to safe, clean drinking water. But the world now faces urgent challenges. More people will need more water, while some places don't get enough. Others get too much. For many, safe drinking water isn't guaranteed. And the climate crisis is making this worse. Which is why we're evolving our global water strategy to use the size and scale of our business and work in partnerships with others to make a greater difference where it matters most. Reducing and reusing water in our operations, helping to restore watersheds, the home of our water sources, supporting of the farmers who grow our ingredients, creating access to safe, clean water and sanitation, while adapting to the impacts of climate change, so that everyone, everywhere has it when they need it. There is more to come. Join our journey to help refresh the world and make a difference.
So through the Coca-Cola video, the two videos which I shared with you, you must have understood that what kind of implication or strategic implication is necessary at the organizational level people-friendly and eco-friendly technology, so that you can sustain your business, and at the same time you can also ensure that it is benevolent for the people with whom we live, and it is also benevolent for the ecology or the environment in which we also live. So moving on to the next slide, we also need to understand that every organization, they not only have to focus on the larger perspective, but they also need to focus on the local self-sufficiency, and that is where great organizations like Tata are doing. If I'm talking about Jamshedpur, see, please understand that if the Tatas were not there, then Jamshedpur would have been a distant reality. Today, if you have gone to Jamshedpur, and you must have seen that what kind of a huge transformation the Tatas had done to Jamshedpur. So please understand that Jamshedpur, before the Tatas were actually there, it was just like a place which was more of a rural area or a very backward area. So the Tatas, when they started their plant over there, the Tisco plant, they not only ensured that the people got employment, but they also ensured that the entire families who lived there, they became self-sufficient. They became, they were provided with health facilities. They were provided with good roads. They were provided with, good sanitation. They were provided with schooling for the kids and so on. So in this case, most of the time we'll see that initially when Tata started their operations, they ensured that they made optimum utilization of the local resources and expertise. So this is what you as an organization or you as a manager need to focus on when you start your business or when you join an organization. So on the basis of the discussions we had in the last 20 minutes, we all must understand that at the managerial level, we all must develop certain criteria or some standards which would help us to judge what kind of appropriate technology we would need to develop, what kind of appropriate production system we need to focus on, and what kind of management models we can develop, which would be helpful to ensure that we make the best utilization of our mission and goals as an organization. So if I'm looking at the technology perspective, purely if I'm looking at the technology perspective, so I believe many of you are engineers or you would be the future engineers. So your job in an organization would be to solve certain problems in the society. So what I mean by problems, suppose you must have seen that there are a lot of pollution in the society. There are a lot of dumping of waste products around the society. So you as engineers, you have to develop a sustainable technology through which you can reduce the pollution, through which you can recycle, reuse, and renew the waste products into a recycled product or a recycled energy resource. So this is where you as think tanks, you as technology developers, you have to come into the picture. You have to solve real life human problems. And we must all understand that whatever business we do, ultimately it is directly or indirectly linked with the natural system and cycle. So you may say that, sir, I am doing CSE. So where I would be linking directly or indirectly with the natural system, I would be dealing with computers. The question is that when you are programming anything in the computer, as for example, you are developing 5G technology. Don't you think that 5G technology would have some adverse impact on the natural resources, like the birds? We have seen that many birds in our environment, like the crows, the sparrows, they have become extinct because of the radiation that is, generated from the, mobile towers. So you have to create that kind of a technology which is not harmful for us, which is, which would help the natural environment to be, sustainable. It would protect the lifespan of the, animals and the birds which are around us, and which are also good for our own health. Do you think that the mobile phones we are using at our home, constantly we are attached to mobile phones? Don't you think that we are exposed to, some kind of a radiation from the, LED screens of the mobile phones? If that is true, then we are directly exposed to some kind of a health hazard without our knowledge. So this is where you have to bring in some kind of an innovation through which these hazards can be narrowed down, through which the occurrence of these hazards can be cut down. So here, you must have seen that we constantly use electricity for running whatever systems we are having around us. But have you ever heard or have you ever thought about that what are the sources of this electricity? These are either the water energy, where you get the hydel power. These are either done from the thermal power, where you burn coal and you generate steam, and from that steam you get the power. But please understand, dear students, that the source of these raw materials, that is coal and water, are limited in this natural world. So we cannot have a infinite supply of resources, and one point of time, maybe 2050, the entire world may become absolutely dry of these natural resources. Then how will you get power? From which resources you will get power? So this is where you have to think about alternative and renewable sources of energy. Please understand, we don't have the luxury to have a high cost and energy diffusive technology. We have to develop a technology which is low cost, which is pocket friendly, and which is energy efficient. So this is where your thought process need to come into the practice. Please understand that developing a technology would not do any good for this society. You have to create a sustainable ecosystem around you through which you promoting decentralization at the grassroots level, through which you would be able to ensure that the responsibilities of developing and implementing these technologies are actually implemented at the grassroots level. So please understand that whenever you develop a technology, you have to enhance the feedback from people. Feedback of people means you have to look at the needs of the stakeholders. You need to listen to people. You need to seek their cooperation. You need to seek their feedback to understand what problems they are facing due to this technology. So that is where you need to have some kind of a recycling, reusing, and renewing the things which are thrown out from our houses. Here you can create a sustainable and recyclable ecosystem, which would actually reduce the burden on the regular energy resources which you are using, or regular resources which you are overutilizing every day. So let us now see another video which would help you to understand how the Tatas are doing in this regard. Students, please do not talk.
Life, it brims with exciting possibilities, and at Tata Steel, everything revolves around realizing life's potential. The CSR vision at Tata Steel was established over 100 years ago with a purpose higher than mere profit motive to encompass the true meaning of partnership, working in tandem with communities, governments, allied enterprises and local initiatives to bring about qualitative changes in the lives of people within its operational perimeter in the tribal belt of eastern India. We are committed to empowering people with tools to sustain in the long run, both socially and economically. Tata Steel believes in affirmative action to spearhead progress. The 4 E's of education, employability, employment and entrepreneurship are foremost in all our strategies and programs. Leveraging the strength of local initiatives and the government, Tata Steel partners them to deliver essential services that support a life of respect and dignity. It's a symbiotic relationship that we share with our communities. When they are healthy, safe and happy, together we are more productive. Enable positive change, to nurture hidden potential and shape dreams into possibilities, Tata Steel plays the role of catalyst, mentor and partner in numerous initiatives. Tata Steel plays a major role in partnering the government's education projects. Supporting schools for children, offering scholarships, running adult literacy programs, and grooming youngsters into well-rounded individuals by encouraging extracurricular activities. Tata Steel also mines sporting talents from the tribal belt of India and nurtures them to make world-class sportspersons. Sports as a way of life is promoted across communities.
So with this video, you must have understood that beyond your economic activity in your organization, you need to spread your initiatives beyond the economic activities of your organization, and that is where you need to engage the community with your CSR activities. CSR means corporate social responsibility activity. Now we have talked about the technologies. Now what about the production system? So as I have already told you that whatever production system we develop from the technologies, they should give us economic viability, and it would also ensure that it would sustain the business which are already in place from the organizational perspective. So here the focus should be more upon local consumption. We do not have the luxury to import raw materials and resources. So you have to create a system in your organization where you can make the best utilization of the local resources. Like you have seen what the Tatas are doing. They are promoting the local resources. They are developing the talents around their factories. And this is what should be the strategy of your organization. So for this, you should have a decentralized system in your organization so that decision making is fast, decision making is shared by people, and it is taken right at the spot whenever it is required. So in this case, whenever you develop a production system, the production system should be facilitated by the masses and not mass produced in a centralized mode. So you should actually leave the process of centralization in your organization. And whatever production system we are having, those processes should be people friendly, should be employee friendly, and whatever technology you would be using for your production process, that should be ecologically sustainable or ecologically acceptable under any standards or any terms and conditions. So please understand that as an organization, whatever you are doing, that should provide safe and conducive health to not only to your employees, but also to the people who are around your organization. Now you must have heard of the gas strategy at Union Carbide in Bhopal. So whenever there was a leak of poisonous gases, methane gas from Union Carbide factory, lakhs of people suffered, thousands of people died on the spot, and many generations of children were actually crippled by that kind of a disaster. So you cannot have a system in your organization through which you cause actually that kind of a damage or that kind of a health hazard to the people who are working in your organization, or for the people who are living in their homes around your factory. And for this, you have to encourage a sense of individual creativity. You have to create a sense of accomplishment in your employees. You have to instill that kind of a motivation so that they can continuously give their best efforts to create that kind of a sustainable work environment in your organization. Then let us talk about what kind of management models we can look for. So please understand, any organization which would deliver on these terms and conditions which we discussed in the last half an hour, that can only be possible if you work together as a well-knit family. The organization should have some kind of a culture, some kind of a bond, some kind of a trust, some kind of a cohesiveness among the employees where they can work together like a family. See, in many organizations, people work individually. But when you work individually, it is definitely true that you would be able to achieve your own goals, but you would not be able to achieve success because your run for success would be limited by other people. So when you work together for common goals and if you share common goals like what you do in your own family, then only the organization would be on the path of success. So for that, you have to develop a cooperative and a motivational culture. Your HR, your organization's human resource development should be instrumental to create that kind of a cooperative and motivational work environment. Okay, they should create a HR system in your organization where people can live together, they can cooperate each other, they can work in a team, and they can motivate each other. So basically, in this regard, it is the role of the HR function of any organization where they should be able to make correct evaluation of human performance. That means the human performance should be objectively evaluated. The human performance should be linked to the outcomes of their performance, and that should be also linked with their compensation, linked with their rewards. And when the efforts or the outcomes are linked with the rewards and compensation, then that would be the greatest motivation to the employees who are working in their organization. So in this regard, many organizations, they also focus on creating a system where they focus on the capabilities of the people. Capabilities means, suppose if I am a teacher, so as a teacher, what are the base skills I am having? Those skills would be defined as competencies. So nowadays, organizations are focusing on those competencies to be instrumental for reward management, to be instrumental for compensation management. And that is where you can excite today's workforce. That is where you can empower today's workforce to perform and give more productivity to the organization. So as an employer, you need to identify which are those employees which have that kind of competency. So how will you identify? By your performance evaluation system. And when you identify those employees or talents who are higher any other employee in terms of merit or their competency, these employees would be your forerunners to give highest level of consumer satisfaction by their performance, by their behavior, by their attitude, and by their work output, which would be instrumental for the success of the organization. Now, let us go into another video which would give a proper understanding of whatever we were talking about. Now we are going to talk about Maruti Suzuki company.
All companies are part of the society where they operate. And while they're selling goods to that society, it is very necessary for the companies to also look upon the other impact they have in their working on different parts of society. So Maruti took up the CSR activities with this particular object in view. We recognize the fact that our resources are not unlimited. And therefore we thought that we should take up only limited activities, but those activities which have the maximum impact. We don't spread our resources too thin, and that the results are something which people can experience and benefit from. We also decided that to get maximum impact of the implementation, it would be best if we did it ourselves. Cars have some impact on people's lives. They have impact on the lives of people who are not car users also. So we wanted to get into road safety so that the adverse effects of the spread of motorization in India would be curtailed. Then we said we'll take up skill development. Skill development because our experience was that over the years, the skills at the worker level, which meant the ITIs, had become somewhat out of touch with what was required in today's technology and working conditions. The third thing we wanted to make sure was that the activities which we take up are activities which particularly are suitable and acceptable to the people where they are taken up. These essentially relate to community development. But again, because of the limitation of resources, the community development would be taken up in villages which are near where we have our own operations, and so can ensure proper implementation and supervision over the activities. Excellence is a goal which we have in Maruti. So in CSR also, we want to follow the similar approach and keep making improvements. Firstly, that there should be complete transparency in what we do. And to bring about transparency, the best way, of course, today is to use as much technology as possible. So in our CSR programs, wherever possible, we try and maximize the use of technology. The second principle is to keep making continuous improvements. We get these external evaluations done of our programs in order to give us inputs for making further improvements. The third thing is that implementation itself must be absolutely perfect. I believe that coming of Maruti in the early 80s brought in a new culture of manufacturing in India, whether it was in the area of quality, or productivity, or employee relations with the management, customer service, the after-sales service, all of those we brought in new areas. So in CSR also, we want to follow the similar approach and keep making improvements and bring in new ways of doing things, using technology for doing things, which is not being done in India today. I think these are the basic principles on how we would continue to do our CSR programs.
So this is a very nice video from Maruti Suzuki. So let us move on to our presentation. Now moving on. So we have understood what kind of production system, what kind of technology system, what kind of management models we can have. So basically, if I'm talking about certain case studies where these kind of models are used, so one which I had already shared with you is the watershed management of Coca-Cola, which I had discussed in the beginning of my session. And one case study I would like to discuss with you, that what kind of biomass-based energy technologies can be used successfully to create a sustainable organization. And this case study we are going to study with what Starbucks are doing. So let us move on to that case study.
Our biggest threat as humans is thinking that we and the planet are invincible. That kind of denial has put our world at risk. But we humans also have the power to learn and to make a difference. Conservation International believes that people need nature, that it's our responsibility to protect it. For 15 years, Conservation International has been on an amazing journey with Starbucks to ethically source their coffee around the world. Together, they've created a new way to buy that coffee, one that is sustainable, transparent, and good for people and the planet. This journey has covered 4 continents where they've improved the lives of 1 million farmers and workers and cared for millions more coffee trees. Conservation International is proud to recognize Starbucks for ethically sourcing 99% of their coffee, making them the largest coffee retailer to reach this milestone. But there's always more to do. Starbucks is committed to 100% ethically sourced coffee. It is that constant pursuit of this last 1% that helps make the world a better place. That's why Starbucks is working with groups like Eastern Congo Initiative, which is helping thousands of coffee farmers in the Democratic Republic of Congo to increase their production, creating opportunities for local communities. In the end, this isn't about coffee. It's about possibilities and commitment. Whether you're a global company like Starbucks or a single human being, you can make a difference. And all those differences add up to a world that's changed for the better.
So it's a wonderful video from Starbucks where we had discussed how they are creating, sustainable energy-based technologies where they're protecting the environment and they are also not overutilizing, the plants and destroying the plants, which would actually cause harm to the natural environment. Now, moving on, we need to also develop certain systems or technologies like microhydel and wind power prime movers, which would actually be driven by the natural energy. So these natural energy would actually reduce the overconsumption of conventional energy sources like, thermal power or water power and so on. We can also install solar energy devices that would reduce the load on the organic fuel and coal or the gases which we are using for running our vehicles. We can use eco-sanitation technologies which would reduce the pollution in our environment. Okay, and we can also use green building materials and techniques which would reduce the carbon load on our environment. Okay, we can protect our environment, make it more green and eco-friendly in terms of whatever practices we are doing. And another aspect of this kind of technology is obviously the eco-friendly agriculture. So if you are agriculturalist, you have to create a system where you are not over exploiting your crop fields with chemical fertilizers and chemical insecticides, which are having direct implications on our physical health and also the health of the animals who live around us. So what we can see that there are certain organizations which are using various kinds of models like the cooperative societies like the Amul, Lizard and Maruti Suzuki. They are using this kind of engaging models. I have already shown you the case study of Maruti Suzuki, through which you have understood that what kind of an engaging climate or CSR activities they are bringing to bring about this kind of changes. Now, before we go to the next and the last topic of our discussion, I would like to show you another video and then I can conclude my discussion. So let us talk about how we can use biomass and renewable energy.
Renewable Energy 101. Biomass, the original renewable energy. It's been part of our lives since our ancestors learned to control fire. In fact, it's made possible by the sun, whose energy is absorbed by trees and plants through photosynthesis, and then released when organic matter is burned or decomposes. First, there's plant waste. Wood scraps, sawdust, and crop waste can be collected from farms or manufacturers. The waste is burned to heat water. The hot water creates steam. The pressure of the steam spins a turbine. The turbine powers a generator. The generator creates electricity. Simple, really. Next up, animal waste, also known as the problem of cow poop. The solution? Waste from farm animals can be collected in a large tank called a digester, filled with bacteria that eats the waste and converts it to methane gas. The methane is captured and burned to heat water and create steam. Sound familiar? Second verse, same as the first. This same principle can also be used to capture methane, a potent greenhouse gas with 25 times the heat-trapping ability of carbon dioxide, from landfills. Once a section of the landfill is closed off, pipes are run from the waste to collect the gas, which can then be burned to make electricity or heat. Biomass may not be the prettiest form of renewable energy, and it needs to be used carefully and thoughtfully to protect ecosystems and prevent greenhouse gas emissions. But it can be a smart way to make use of waste. Power to the poop.
We will see another video on how we can use water resources. We can make best utilization of our water resources. So let's go on to this video. That would be the last video for our session.
Renewable Energy 101. Water covers 71% of the Earth's surface and is vital to our daily lives. It can also be a clean, renewable, reliable source of electricity. Hydroelectric energy comes from capturing the force of moving water that's in our Earth's rivers and oceans. We do this by using the movement of the water to spin hydraulic turbines. That generates kinetic energy, which is converted to electricity through a generator and then sent to the power grid. Most hydropower is generated from dams built on rivers and streams, often where there's a big drop in elevation, so gravity can help us out. Dams block the water's natural flow and force it through a large pipe with the turbine and generator before releasing it back into the stream on the other side of the dam. Today, we know that dams, most of which were built before the 1960s here in the US, can disrupt river ecosystems. There haven't been many new hydro plants built in the US in a few decades, but some existing dams are beginning to be tapped for their electricity generating potential, and existing hydro facilities are being upgraded to be less harmful to plants, fish, and wildlife. This helps us get the electricity we need while protecting the natural environment around us. Now that's a win-win.
So let's go for the conclusion of today's session. So we have discussed what are the evolving models that are present and used by the corporate world, and we have discussed certain case studies through video case studies. So what we can understand, this is the concluding slide of my session for today. So please understand that we must have the right understanding and the right knowledge about us. That was the beginning of the session of this course, where we developed some kind of a knowledge, some kind of an understanding, where we understand what we are as an individual. And if we know what we are as an individual, that would definitely, we can contribute anything which would make us happy, which would make our life successful. Then in the second stage, we try to understand what is prosperity means to us and how prosperity can be instilled in every family or every unit of the society. That was the discussion of the second session. Now, the third aspect of the discussion of this course was to understand how we can build some kind of a trust, some kind of a resilience, some kind of a fearlessness and dependency, interdependency that would create a conducive society, or a society where every person can trust and believe in the other person. That was the discussion agenda for the third topic of this course. Now today what we have talked about is to develop a system in an organization, to develop a sustainable technology where we can coexist, where organizations can coexist peacefully with the society, peacefully with the environment, and we can develop a sustainable and long thriving organizations and long thriving societies where people are healthy, people are can be enriched with the technology and the mechanical benefits or the economic benefits which are reaped by today's organizations. And we can also enjoy a sustainable and protected environment which is free from pollution, free from hazards, free from health issues. That would be the role of tomorrow's technology. That would be the role of tomorrow's production systems. That would be the role of tomorrow's management technologies and management systems that would make the world a better place and a sustainable place to live at. So with this, I conclude my discussion on the topic which was given to me, and I would like to give Professor Shamanto sir to come up with the concluding remarks. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Musuddi. I think the students have enjoyed it because in the last class, you have beautifully explained all the things, mainly the criteria of technology and the criteria of management models that have explained, and what should be the actual format, not only the technology doesn't mean to know some knowledge about that, know some trick or the skill. You learn some skill, that is enough. You should not think like that. So have some criteria which is linked with that. So that then the concept of holistic technology will be developed to you. So similarly, in the management strategy, managerial, when you are a personality of management in any industry or any other institution, so should have some knowledge and skill in that management strategy. At the same time, some criteria must have to acquire. Okay, and then the holistic concept of the technology as well as the management will be enhanced. So that thing has been described and explained very nice. Dr. Musuddi is a pioneer of this study because he is from management at the same technology concept. He had easily and very explicitly he has been able to explain all these things in this module fifth, last class of the module 5. So this is the concluding session of this UHU class. I may the 15 classes, all total classes were 15 classes and the 5 module. This is the end of this class. Now the question is that another announcement is the 2 tests are remaining. Number 3 module, the test, it will be taken this week, and at the same time, Dr. Musuddi has already prepared the beautiful test. So I think it will be the test number 3 and the test number 5th on the module 5th module, actually on the module 3 test and the module 5 the test. 2 tests are remaining. That will be taken by me and also Professor Maji. Along with it, which is possible, Dr. Musuddi will be maybe present on that day. So it will be taken by this week, either day after tomorrow or Sunday. I think Sunday it will be. So it will be very soon. It will be taken. So now I will be also requesting Dr. Musuddi to send these PPTs to you. It will be sent in WhatsApp. If he is sent to me, then I'll send to you. So already previously you have got all the PPTs, and it will be because you have listened all things for your actual recapitulation. He will be sending it, and you will see again, and you will prepare for the test. Now, last thing is that if you have any question, any query, like previous classes, I've already asked some questions, any query or any thing you want to know, then you ask, then Dr. Musuddi will answer this. Okay, any question from you? And because it is the last one, I expect at least 1 or 2 questions from any student.
Sir, I have one small thing to share with you. I had already shared my question with you.
One thing, Musuddi, I think I have already just now, I have sent to Professor Maji. He'll be he'll see and he'll be taking the test because all questions will be in the same pattern. That's why he told that he'll be just checking this, and after that he'll be taking the test.
Right, sir.
One thing, now I'm asking students, if you have any question, anyone? Sir is explaining very nice, Any question from any student?
Students, you are most welcome to place any kind of query on whatever we discussed today?
That is the problem. They are listening, they are very reluctant, there is the negative side of the online classes. So some I have listened, I have already, it's my speaking from the first class, there is some of are connected and they are not listening, okay? So that is what they are talking is. So I expect some I have seen some students are very sincere, they have listened very nice. So I expect at least from anyone, any question in this module. Otherwise, we will end it up. Any question or any query? Aditya Saha and Aditya, right? I saw. No question at all. Asma Parveen, Abhishek Gupta, Aditya Hatua, okay. Hello. You're not responding? Last class? Hello.
Sir, I have a question.
Question
So-
anyone? When I were asking some students, I'm not telling you, they're not responding. Hey, hello, Sweta.
Sir, do you need to be rich to be sustainable? I have a question that is we need to be rich to be sustainable, or we can start sustainability as a normal human being also?
Beta, the thing I would like to answer this question. You don't need to be a rich person like Elon Musk to create
Yes,
something sustainable. Even
Mhm.
if you go to a small village or a slum, if you can have a sustainable practice or a sustainable philosophy, that can bring lot of change in the environment, and that is where our Swachh Bharat program was a huge success. Please understand, the Swachh Bharat program was initiated by our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji to create a clean India. See, you have seen the movie Toilet Ek Prem Katha. So
Yes,
people in the villages, they defecate in open fields and jungles, which creates pollution and creates a bad kind of a visualization. So if you can create something sustainable, some kind of a even a philosophy, sustainable philosophy, where people can control their instincts to do something protective, to do something developmental for the society, to change their bad habits, that can change the society like anything. So if you as a student, you can go back to your family or to your locality, and you can educate at least some 2 or 3 poor kids, or you can talk to their families and counsel them, that can bring lot of change, beta. So it is you who can make the change, not the corporate. Definitely come into the picture, but it is us who can make the change, who can deliver the change at the grassroots level. The corporate people draw the money, they may bring in the investments, but it is us who actually bring the change.
Thank you,
From
sir.
which department, Sweta? You are from
Sir,
which
I'm
department?
from diploma in food production,
Okay, food
hotel
production.
management. Sir.
Oh, hotel management. Very good, very good.
Thank you. Sir.
Very nice question you have mentioned.
Actually, Indra sir has showed some big
Audio.
big faces, people like Starbucks, and then he showed about the Tata Steel, then Coca-Cola. They are big companies. I actually, my question is that as a individual human being, that I have to be rich to be sustainable in the society. That's I mean.
You have understood my explanation. That means
Yes, sir.
even as a student, you can bring a change.
Yes.
Right? You can go back to your home in Saturdays and Sundays. You can educate 5 poor people.
Right.
Okay.
Actually.
You can talk to their families to bring in Swachh Bharat activities at their family. You can talk to them and say that how they can preserve the natural resources. Like many of them go to the forest and cut trees for
Right.
burning fuel, to get fuel. So you can talk to them how they can use alternate sources of energy to protect the environment and cause conservation to the natural resources. So this is where your job comes into the play. So if you if 10 sweaters can bring this change, then that matters a lot for our society.
Right.
Thank
So that is where the magic happens.
you. Mhm.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, here says ask some very good question now. So okay, I think any other question? Otherwise, you will let it up. So I'm telling you, be prepared for the test. It will be announced, and I'll inform you by WhatsApp and Telegram. You know where the test will be taken. Okay. So I think Muthu sir, can I end it up? Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay. Thank you to all. Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Bolo. Okay.
Sir,
Subhankar. Bolo.
Shubhankar.
yes, sir. Today we don't have any test, right?
No, today the test will not be taken because it should be some. It will be taken in the same time. Two tests will be taken in the same day. Okay.
Okay. So only we have left only 2 exam, right?
Two third module and the fifth module.
Third module and fifth module. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Mutsu sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Sir?
get.
Sir, Indonin sir.
Yes, tell me, Shubhankar.
Yes, sir. Can you send that videos because we did not show.
Now, better the thing is that it is recorded in the YouTube. So if you revisit the YouTube channel, all these videos would be visible.
In which channel?
In the YouTube channel. Sir has already shared the YouTube channel link in the chat box.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So you can type in, JISU-PHARMA in the YouTube, and you can see today's recording.
Actually, sir, when you played that videos, we cannot view
Why?
because
Sir, it was
only
only audible. The video was not visible. It was only audible.
the video is played.
It was audible, right?
Yes, sir. The video was only audible. That was not visible to us.
No, you
Right.
could have said to me, na, I could have, made the changes.
Yes, sir. We thought that it was
Sir,
like
we
that.
thought that it's a
Some people
system
said
glitch.
that it was visible. Anyway, I will share the things in the WhatsApp or whatever Google link is available. You can have a look at them.
Okay, Swadesh Ranjan sir, please send that video to us.
Okay, I will send it to your WhatsApp, either in
In Telegram also, sir, you can send.
Telegram. I'll send it.
So it would
We
be
are
better
not
to
WhatsApp
to
group.
send it in the Telegram
WhatsApp
group.
group, also already in
Many
university
of us
group, and
are only in the
concerned
Telegram group.
HOD or faculty member will send it to you. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.